Hey Dan, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that we're all out of cardboard boxes. I thought I had bought enough for the move, but do you think that you could get or order some more?
I actually already put in an order for some boxes to arrive. I thought that would have gotten there by now, but I guess not. Do you want me to call the vendors and see what's going on?
Would that be all right? I would really appreciate it because we only have a few more and we don't have room for everything.
Yeah, I understand completely. It's not a problem. But how many more do you think we need?
I think that we might need at least another 10, judging from the state of things here.
Got it. Well, if you think it's at least 10, then maybe I should go even higher than that? How does ordering about 15 boxes sound to you?
I think if we had 15, then that would be plenty for us. Thanks so much for doing that.
I had thought that he got enough boxes the first time, but I guess that we really just underestimated the amount of stuff that we own, didn't we?
Yeah, who would have guessed that we were this much of pack rats? I mean, we really just had no idea how much stuff we actually had at all.
I know, and here I thought that we were pretty good about not buying too much stuff. I didn't even realize that I actually owned all the clothes that I do until I had to try and get them all to fit in the suitcase.
I know, right? I don't know how it happened, but I guess we just have accumulated a lot of stuff over the years, don't you think? Maybe we just don't know how to throw things away. I mean, I know a few of these boxes are just filled with things that we haven't even touched in I don't know how long. But I think that we do have most of the house packed up at this point, which is a relief at least.
That's amazing news, though. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate you taking care of this, Clara. I promise to give you a hand with whatever you might need when I get back home this evening.
Aw, Dan, don't you worry about that. I mean, you're at work all day and I'm at home. We're about to move, so of course I'm not just going to put all of this off until you come home. Anyways, I'm going to get back to it.
Well, I just want you to know how much I appreciate what you're doing. I can't believe we're really going to be moving away in 5 days. It's just crazy, but I guess we're going to be busy up until the very end.
I know, I can't believe at all that it's less than a week until we're gone. I sure hope we get everything done in time.
Well, when I get home, you just tell me what to do. I'll do my best to see that we get out of here, okay? And I guess if things get really bad, then we can call my mom and ask her for help.
Oh no, we couldn't do that. I would hate to drag your mother into this and have her clean up after us. I just couldn't ask her to help us with everything here. I'd feel so bad.
Really? I don't think that it's that big of a deal at all for her, really. I mean, either way, we're probably going to have to ask for help in unpacking since we're all moving in together.
Well, you are probably right about that, but can you believe that you and I are going to be moving in with your mom at her house?
Yeah, I know. It is just a bit crazy, right? But I am grateful that they're giving a place to live. Although, I am a bit worried for you. Are you sure this isn't going to be too much for you?
Don't you worry about me. I knew what I was getting myself into when I said that I wanted to do this. Besides, you're the oldest sibling in your family. I understand why your mom would want you to live with them and why you feel like you have to. I guess I just thought that we would be doing this at a later point in our lives is all.
I know, but I really didn't think you'd go along so easily with all of this. I mean, no offense, but I thought that you just weren't interested in living with my parents at all.
I'm not going to lie, there are quite a few things that I'm pretty nervous about, and I do really hope that your mom and I can get along well while I'm there. But I knew that marrying you meant that I would be spending more time with your parents as well. After all, you are the eldest child, so I knew that you would have to do something like this in the future.
I guess you're right about that. Still, I just want to say that I'm so grateful to be with someone as supportive as you. I'm sure that everything is going to be just fine. You're a lovely person, and there's no reason why my mom wouldn't enjoy sharing her space with you.
You really think so? You really think that your mom is going to like me?
Of course. You were the one who said yes to us living together first, so I'm sure that my mom is grateful for that.
I really hope so. I just want to make sure that your mom and I can get along with each other.
Well, I'm sure that you two are going to be just fine. I bet she's going to love having a daughter-in-law like you.
Has she said anything that makes you think that she'd really like me? Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have asked that, but if you think that she's going to like me, then that really does make me feel good.
I think that she's really looking forward to having us live together. Besides, it's an upgrade for us too. I mean, we finally get to leave our small apartment and move into our big house. It's a huge step up for us.
Well, I will say that you're certainly right about that. Your mom does have a pretty huge house, so I just hope that us moving in doesn't cause too much trouble for them.
I'm sure it's fine. Besides, remember I told you about how they did all the remodeling a few years ago? It's almost like living in a brand new house, although they did all the remodeling to enjoy their house in their old age, of course. But when my dad suddenly died, my mom suddenly had no one to live with anymore.
Yeah, that can't have been easy on your poor mom, and since she's been living there alone ever since.
That's right, so I really don't think you should worry about causing any trouble. Everything is going to be fine. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm getting off of work early and I'm going to be heading home now. Do you need me to pick up anything on the way home?
I don't think so, but I hope you get home safe. Don't rush home. Take your time.
Great. Thank you, Claire. I think that I should be getting home in about a couple of hours then.
Wow, that really is so odd for you to be coming home early, though. That almost never happens.
I know, but I have been whittling away at a big project I had, and now I just don't have anything to work on. I guess it's thanks to all the overtime that I was doing beforehand. Now I get to come home early instead.
Well, that really is a good thing if you ask me. In fact, since we have all this time, what do you think about going out somewhere for dinner? Your mom is also going to be out eating with friends, so it'll just be the two of us.
Oh, really? That's kind of weird. I feel like my mom almost never goes out to meet friends.
Well, she said that she had someone in town staying at a hotel and that she was heading that way to have dinner with her. So what do you think about us going out to eat as well? I could really use it, to be honest.
Well, that sounds good to me then. What do you think you'd want to eat?
I could really go for a good noodle. I don't care what kind, but I have just been craving noodles.
Well, there's that Italian place that we've always talked about trying, right? I think that would be really good, actually. Their pizza's supposed to be great as well. That might be what I get.
Great, it's decided then. Let's go to that Italian place.
Sounds good to me. I'll meet you there this evening then?
Yay! I'm actually really looking forward to this. It's going to be great. I've been feeling so run down lately, if I can be honest with you.
Oh, no, really? Has it been something in particular making you feel like that?
Well, if I can be honest, I think that things aren't going great with your mom. I think she actually really doesn't like me at all.
Wait, what? Are you serious? But you two always seem to get along together. It makes you feel like things aren't going well between you two.
Well, she's always so calm and collected when you're in the room, but she only pretends to get along with me because you're there. The truth is that we don't really get along in the slightest. In fact, she's been pretty horrible to me.
Horrible to you? In what way? What has she been doing to make you feel like that?
It's a lot, but it's all because she's been doing this while you haven't been around that I haven't said anything to you. I just didn't want to make anything worse, but I can't hold it in any longer.
But what exactly has my mom been doing to you that's so horrible?
She's just always telling me that I'm not doing enough around the house and that I'm a slacker. And I just can't stand being talked to like that. I mean, she makes me feel like I can't do anything right at all. And then she asked who raised me and that I have no manners or anything. She even said that she has no idea why you would marry someone like me. Do you have any idea how much it hurt to hear that?
Carla, I had no idea about any of this. That's just horrible. You don't deserve to be going through that at all.
I thought that it was just maybe her way of adjusting to having us in the house, but it hasn't stopped. I don't know what else I can do to try and patch things up between us. I mean, I'm trying my best. Can't she see that? Am I doing something wrong? I really can't think of what it could be that she doesn't like me doing.
Carla, I had no idea that my mom was doing or saying any of this to you. But I also think that my mom is just the kind of person that won't soften the way she wants to talk about something.
But there's a difference in being honest and just being plain mean. I'm sure that even now she's talking bad about me to her friend. Probably saying that I'm just a useless woman and a horrible daughter-in-law.
Okay, Carla, come now. You can't just accuse people of having conversations you can't know about.
I know, but what else do middle-aged women talk about when they all get together? It's obvious. Ugh, just thinking about all this is enough to really stress me out. I just feel like I might collapse at any moment. It feels like I'm going into some deep, dark hole that I won't be able to get myself out of.
Carla, I had no idea that you were feeling like this.
It's fine. I wasn't talking to you about it because I didn't want you to worry about me. But it's all true. Every day is just so hard for me.
Well, then do you want me to talk to my mom about the way she's treating you?
No, you can't do that. If your mom thinks that I came to you about this, it would just make things worse. I think that it would just make her be even meaner to me. Besides, even if you did tell her, she would just lie to you and tell you that she wasn't doing anything.
Are you sure about that? You really think that my mom would just deny doing something like that?
You have to believe me. You don't know her like I do, Dan. She is not the woman that you think she is in the slightest.
Carla, please. I think that I know my mom quite well, okay? I mean, she was the woman who raised me after all. I'm not saying that I don't believe you, though. Just that it's hard for me to wrap my head around this.
But that's basically the same as saying that you don't believe me. Don't you get that?
I do believe you, Carla. But I'm going to have to ask my mom about this.
I don't understand. Why do you have to go and talk to your mom about this? Why won't you believe what I tell you?
Carla, please. How can I not talk to my mom after all that you've told me? Either way, we should talk about this more over dinner.
Dan, I can't take it anymore. I just can't stand the way that your mom is treating me. I don't know how I'm supposed to go on living like this. I am just getting more and more stressed, and I feel like I'm going crazy.
Carla, are you okay? Don't tell me that you're still upset over how things are going with my mom.
I just don't get why we're the ones who have to leave. It shouldn't have to be this way.
Well, then, just what are you suggesting should happen here?
I'm suggesting that your mom be the one who moves out of here and not us. We shouldn't have to lose a house just because of how your mom is treating me.
But you do know that it's my mom who owns the house, right?
I don't care about that. After all your mom has put me through, we should be the ones to get the house, not her.
I see. Well, if you really feel that way, maybe we should just get a divorce.
Wait, what? How did you get that out of all of this? Why on earth should we get a divorce?
Well, you were saying earlier that if we didn't stop living with my mom, that you would want a divorce, right? So I choose a divorce.
But why? I don't get it. How could you do this to me? How can you choose your mom over me?
Well, like this, by divorcing you.
But don't you feel bad for me after all that your mom put me through?
I am telling you that I'm choosing my mom over you. Shouldn't that be enough?
But I want to know why. Why didn't you believe what I had to tell you? Didn't all the stories of how your mom bullied me mean anything to you?
No, because I don't believe them at all now.
So you think that I've been lying to you this whole time then? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know if you've been lying to me. I have no idea if you're even lying to me right now.
But then, why are you treating me like this? Why aren't you being kinder to me?
Because I've seen the truth with my own eyes.
What are you talking about? What truth is that?
I'm talking about the truth of who you really are. I mean, I know that you were telling your friend about how after you kicked my mom out, we were going to have this house to ourselves.
What are you talking about, Dan? I never said anything like that.
Of course you did. I heard you talk about it over the phone. That's what this whole thing has been about, hasn't it? It's just been for the house.
So you were listening while I was talking on the phone with my friend that day?
We do all live in the same house after all.
But that isn't fair. What about my privacy? Why didn't you plug your ears or something?
Are you kidding me? Why don't you try not having those kinds of conversations at home? But at least it finally explained to me why you were acting so strangely.
What do you mean? What was I doing?
Well, I tried asking my mom about the things you were saying so that I could get to the bottom of what was going on.
I thought I told you that there would be no point in doing that. Whatever your mom said is just a lie.
Except for the fact that my mom is a really bad liar, and I always know when she's doing it. And when she told me she had no idea what you were talking about, she didn't show any of her usual tics at all.
Well, all that means is that she's learned how to be a better liar, but you can't just let her fool you like this.
But you're the only one trying to fool me here. Besides, I already knew about you and your friend, remember? You made this whole thing up to try and turn me against my mom.
It's not true. I swear it. You have to believe me.
Why should I? You've been nothing but dishonest with me this entire time. But I see now that the real reason why you were so eager to move in was because it was all a part of your plan to try and kick my mom out of her home.
That isn't true. I just thought that we'd all be able to get along. It had nothing to do with the fact that your parents just remodeled their huge house.
That basically told me all I needed to know. I can't believe that you would lie to me about this. You even tried to turn me against my own mother.
Please, I'm so sorry about everything. I was stupid. I shouldn't have done this.
I want you to pack your bags and move out. You and I are through, Clara. After that, Clara realized that I wasn't going to change my mind. She packed her bags, and by the end of the week, all her things had been moved out of my mom's house. We signed the divorce papers not long after that, and we're officially separated. She left a note saying that she still loved me, but I couldn't bear to look at it. My mom also felt horribly guilty about all of this. She had no idea what she did to make Carla so upset with her that she would do something like this. I had to do my best to explain to her that it wasn't her fault at all and that it was all just one giant scheme by Carla. I don't quite know where my life will take me now, but at least I know who I can and can't trust. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey Meg, are you there? I was just double checking that you were going to the doctor's office today, right? Have you already gone? Or are you still at home?
No, I already went, actually. My appointment was this morning. What about you, Dan? Did you just start your lunch break?
Yeah, about 3 minutes ago. This morning has been so slow. I was waiting all day up to now so that I could text you. So anyways, how did the doctors go? Did they have anything to say? How are things looking?
Well, they did a sonogram and ran over some other tests, and it seems like the baby's doing really well. And since I'm this close to having it, they really aren't concerned about any kind of freak incidents happening suddenly. They said that as far as they could tell, I'm on track to have the baby according to when they said I would.
I see. Well then it all sounds like good news to me. That's such a relief. And just to double check, if the doctor said that you'd have the baby according to the date they predicted for you, would that mean we'd be looking at the start of next month?
Yep, pretty much around then, although you can never know for sure with this thing, right? So it might be a couple of days before or after that window, but I take it that you've already asked your boss for the time off, right?
Well, yeah. I did ask, but I was only able to get a few days off of work anyways. He told me that even though it's my break time, that I can't just take off huge amounts all of a sudden. But I'll talk to him about it a little more. Maybe at the very least, I can arrange some kind of work from home deal or something like that.
Of course, you do what you need to do to make sure things go okay at your office. Oh, right. That reminds me, I meant to ask you, did you say anything to that coworker of yours? What's his name? Ted?
You're asking me if I said anything to Ted? Like what? What should I have said?
Well, it's just his wife actually came over not that long ago. She came over asking if I could teach her how to bake after I'd given birth. But she specifically asked if I could teach her how to make a bundt cake, even though I've never ever made one of those before.
Wait, really? Are you sure? You mean to tell me you've never made a bundt cake before? What do you call those little small ones that you made last year of the New Year's party?
Dan, are you talking about the cupcakes that I made? Did you really think those were called bundt cakes? They're two completely different things. She'd be better off just following some recipe online.
Well, I don't really see what the difference is. If you can bake one thing, you can probably bake a bunch more then, right?
I really don't think that's how it works, and I certainly wouldn't be comfortable teaching someone something I don't know how to do. But more important than that, you really have to quit fibbing to people about me, Dan. I mean, you tell people that I can do basically anything, and then they come to me asking for it.
And you really think that's all because of what I tell people about you?
Of course that's what I think it's all about, but do you have any idea just how much work I've had to do so that those people don't get disappointed?
Work? What are you talking about? What have you done?
I mean that you had that other friend who you told that I could speak Spanish to, remember? I don't speak any Spanish.
But that isn't true though. I mean, you told me you were pretty good at it when you took it in high school.
Yeah, and it's only gotten worse since. Besides, you told this person that I would teach them how to speak Spanish. But I've never once taught anything to anyone. Why do you keep telling these kinds of lies to people? Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is when I have to tell them that I have no idea how to do what they think I do?
Is it really that bad? I think that sounds kind of funny to me.
Well, I'm not laughing at all, Dan. I am really happy that you can talk about me freely to your friends and coworkers. But I'm only asking that you just tell them things about me that are actually true. Is that really so much to ask for?
Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have sent that last message. But, I mean, you really do so much already. And thanks to me, everyone in my office thinks that you're amazing. That's a good thing, right?
Dan, I think we've talked about this before, but ever since I was little, people always told me that I could do anything just because I'm pretty. And thanks to that, I actually suffered a lot of embarrassment when I couldn't do any of it. It was a lot to put on a kid, and I still carry those feelings with me, especially when your coworkers come around asking me for things.
Alright. I think you did tell me something about this before, actually. But anyways, if you're really so against seeing any of my coworkers, does that mean that you're going to miss the company barbecue that's coming up?
It feels like you're just trying to change the subject here when I'm trying to tell you about how I feel.
No, I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm just putting a pin that so that we can talk about the barbecue really quick. I mean, I think some people are gonna bring their whole families, so I really would appreciate if you could come.
I'm really sorry, Dan, but I can hardly stand the smell of meat cooking as it is. I just don't see that happening. Besides, it's already so hot this summer, I don't think I could be outdoors for that long.
I guess you have a point there. But that really sucks. I was hoping we could have gone together.
Well, sorry it didn't work out this time. Maybe next year. And again, just please be a little more careful with what you tell others about me, okay? I understand wanting to brag about your wife, but let's keep the brags within the realm of things I can actually do.
Yeah. I promise to watch what I say around people. Jeez. Anyways, I've got to get back to work now. As for you, you're pregnant. So you really should learn to relax and take things easier.
Thanks for that, Dan. I'll do my best to take things easy from here on. Hope you have a good rest of the day at work.
Hey Meg, what are you doing right now? So happy to be at home at the moment.
Yep, I'm at home, pregnant as ever. I take it you've already arrived at your company barbecue then? You know, I can hardly even get myself off the couch as I am right now. But I hope that you're having fun. How is it over there?
Oh, it's really fun. Lots of people here and we are all having a good time. But I'm actually going to be coming home now. So get ready to leave the house when I get back, okay?
Wait, what? You mean you're already coming home from the event? And just where are we going that I need to get ready to leave? Where are we going?
Well, I'm going to be bringing you to the barbecue as well. So just get ready for me to pick you up and we can go.
Hold on a second, Dan. I thought that we already talked about this. I told you that I wouldn't be able to go. You said okay, remember? What changed since then?
Yeah, I did say that I was okay with it. But now I have people here who are asking where you are and want to meet you.
As in people from your work that want to meet me? People like who?
You remember last year how that new girl joined our company, right? Well, she wants to meet the wife that I've been bragging about this whole time.
I think I remember you mentioning something about the new hire, but I don't get why she would want to meet me.
I guess that she's just come to really admire you after all that she's heard. This is a good thing.
She's come to admire me? What does that even mean? How can she admire me if we haven't even met? I'm sorry, Dan, but I'm just really confused right now.
Well then let me explain. Thanks to me, my whole office thinks that you're a beautiful woman, an amazing cook, and a jack of all trades. You must be so happy to hear all of this though, right? I mean, this is great for you.
Dan, I thought that we talked about this before. You said that you would stop telling people in your office lies about me, remember? Please, it's really embarrassing when they ask me about all these things that I just can't do. I know that you're just wanting people to be excited about meeting your wife, but it really does put me in an awkward spot.
I'm sorry, but I don't see anything wrong with what I'm doing. I know that you don't want to come and meet this coworker. I'm going to insist that you do come.
Are you serious right now? You're seriously going to insist that I go to this barbecue with you even though I told you I can't?
Please. Don't you care at all about my reputation here at the office? I am your husband and I am inviting you to this event. You are going to make me look really bad if you just turn me down, you know? How am I supposed to save face around here if you're not doing what I say?
Dan, you do realize that I am on the verge of giving birth to our child, right? I mean, I could go into labor any day now, basically. And I am telling you that I don't want to be standing outside at a hot barbecue and smell meat cooking all day.
Oh, come on. Do you really think the weather is so bad that something's gonna happen to you? You're going to be just fine. Don't worry so much.
Dan, you can't just brush off all my worries by telling me not to worry. Besides, this isn't just about me. This is about the baby as well. Aren't you worried about what will happen if I get heat stroke or something?
Of course I'm not, because that isn't going to happen. I'll be right there looking after you. Don't worry. If you ever get tired, you can just tell me and it'll be all okay.
Really? Because for some reason, I just can't bring myself to believe that.
You mean that you can't believe something your own husband is telling you? What's the matter with you? Besides, I need you here at the barbecue so that I could put you to work.
Put me to work? What does that mean? You aren't seriously going to ask me to do things there, are you?
You mean you really think you can just show up, eat food, and then go home without doing anything? Come on now, I've been telling everyone here about how amazing you are. You have to show up and do something to impress them. Think of how embarrassed I'll be if you can't even do that. Anyways, I'm already on my way over to pick you up. Ugh, you really have some serious nerve, do you know that? I mean, did you really have to go and faint in the middle of the barbecue and in front of all my coworkers? You totally ruined the reputation I set up for you. I don't even know what else to say except that I'm very, very disappointed in you.
Excuse me? You're disappointed in me? You've got to be kidding me. Dan, I can't believe you actually just said that. I am seriously getting sick and tired of you.
And just who do you think you are to take that kind of tone with me, huh? This is all your fault. If you didn't pass out, then my boss would have never scolded me in front of everyone. Can you believe that they put all the blame on me for what you did? Don't you dare try to spin this against me too. No one is spinning anything against you. Certainly not me, your boss. What are you talking about? You're not boss. Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? Oh no, it's no joke at all. This is your boss speaking to you, or should I say, former boss. Since as of today, you are fired. Wait, Tony, is that really you? What on earth are you doing with my wife? Well, your wife had her accident at our company event. So of course I went to the hospital to go and visit her and apologize for what happened. And that was when she talked about the kind of idiotic things you've been saying to her. Well, I got upset that I asked Meg if I could borrow her phone and have a little word with you. Okay. I believe that it's really you, but I'm not really fired, right? I mean, you didn't really mean it when you said that, did you? Oh, I was very serious and I still am. I better not see you at work tomorrow. Now hold on just a second. Don't you think that's just taking things a little bit too far? I mean, this has to be illegal or something. I'm sorry. But after what I've learned about you, I just don't want to be working in the same office as you. But why? I didn't even do anything. It was my wife who caused the scene, not me. Are you really trying to pin this all on your pregnant wife? I can't believe that you would do that. How can you call yourself her husband? She should be the most important thing in the world to you. And this whole time you were just trying to use her to score points at the office. Tony, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's appropriate for you to be stepping into this matter. This is between my wife and I would appreciate your understanding. All that being said, please don't fire me. Well, if you'd like, we could take this matter to court and see what a judge has to say about your firing. But this isn't fair. You can't take me to... You're the one trying to fire me. And I'll make sure that the court knows exactly why keeping you around would be bad for the company. By the way, I wouldn't bother trying to visit your wife in the hospital. She's asking me to tell you that she never wants to see you again. Not only that, but she also wants to get a divorce as well. She's telling me to tell you that the next time you hear from her, it'll be through her lawyer. Have a nice life, Dan.
It wasn't long after that I went into labor, but I would never have guessed that I would be signing divorce papers as soon as it was born. I heard later from Tony that Dan was ultimately fired as well. During the divorce proceedings, I was able to get a hefty payment from Dan for the danger that he put our child and I in. He was also ordered to pay child support until our baby was an adult. Dan decided to settle the child support issue with one large payment. Apparently, he couldn't stand the shame of his family and office knowing what he had done. He wanted to get the divorce process over and done with as soon as possible. After it was all done and over, I never heard from Dan again. I know it'll be hard to raise this child on my own. Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't have been better to stay with Dan. But then I think of what that would mean making my child grow up with. No matter what, I don't regret what I've done. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey, Carla, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I have some plans to go out and eat with some friends tomorrow. So if you could come and pick me up around 11 to take me there, that would be lovely.
Hello, Rhonda. Thank you for reaching out. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to be at work tomorrow. I don't think that I'll be able to make it over to your house by 11.
Work? What do you mean, work? I thought that you worked from home. I don't see how needing to work tomorrow would keep you from coming to get me when you'll be at home all day anyway.
I know, and I really am sorry, but something's come up and I'm just not going to be able to leave.
Oh, come on. This will be really, really quick, I swear. You'll come pick me up at 11, and I promise that you'll be home before even noon. It will just take a second.
I'm sorry, Rhonda, but I really don't think that it will. I know how much time it takes to go to your house and drive you around. So I think that tomorrow you'll have to find someone else to drive you, or else take an Uber or the bus or something.
No, that is just unacceptable. You aren't allowed to deny me this, Carla. Besides, I already told my friends that my daughter-in-law would be joining us for lunch.
But this is the first that I'm hearing about these plans, and now you're telling me that they're tomorrow?
I thought I told you that I would only allow you to work if you were going to do it from home, specifically so that I could have you do things for me when I needed them. But if you can't even do that, then you should just go back to being a housewife. Because clearly you still don't understand the fact that you should always be putting your mother-in-law first.
Please, Rhonda, that isn't fair. I've finally found something that I really want to do. I don't want to quit my job.
But when you have a kid, you're going to have to quit your job, won't you?
That wasn't what my plan was at all, actually. I was thinking that I would still work even after I have a child.
Now you listen to me, young lady. You are going to come and pick me up when I tell you to, and that is that. Unless you rather I tell all my friends just to show up at your house and have lunch there.
Okay, Rhonda, you win. I'll pick you up tomorrow if that's what you really need from me.
You should have just said that you would in the first place. Then we wouldn't have had to waste our time fussing over this pointlessly. I can't believe that you would even try to lie to me about getting in the way of your work schedule. Did you really think I was going to buy that?
But I wasn't lying to you. I guess now I'll just have to stay up all night working so that I don't miss the deadline for this tomorrow.
If you had that option, then you should have said that's what you were going to do in the first place. But remember that you're going to be driving me around tomorrow, so you better not get us into an accident. Do you understand me? Because if anything does happen, then I'm going to make sure that everyone knows it's all your fault. Got it?
I understand. Thank you for making that perfectly clear to me.
Also, I want to trace back to what you were talking about earlier about keeping your job even after you've had a child. Does that mean that you and my son are actually thinking about having a child together then?
Well, if we can, I would really like to have a child with Ben, yes.
I see. And here I thought that you two were never ever going to give me any grandchildren. After all, you two have been married a whole year and there has been nothing on that front.
I understand that, but I do want you to know that Ben and I have talked about it. In fact, it was Ben who suggested that we wait a little bit before trying for one.
But if you wait too long, then your ovaries are going to shrivel up and you'll run out of eggs. I mean, you're already older than 30 years old, you know. And my daughter, who's still in her 20s, already has 2 kids. So it sounds to me like you two might have just been slacking off this whole time.
Rhonda, I am really sorry, but I just have to get back to work now. But we can talk more about this tomorrow if you'd like.
Oh yes, I'm sure you're just sitting thinking about how obnoxious and horrible your mother-in-law is being to you right now, aren't you? Anyways, just remember to be at my house by 11. I don't want you getting here a minute sooner or later, and I don't want to hear any complaining about how I'm getting in the way of your work. And just know that if you don't show up, there is going to be serious hell to pay. Hello there, Carla. I just wanted to say thank you so much for yesterday's meal. I really loved how you made it so flavorless and bland. Did you do that just for me? Because you don't think old people can handle flavor? Or do you also subject my poor son to that kind of cooking too?
I'm really sorry that you had a problem with the dinner that I cooked last night. I only seasoned it the way that Ben says he prefers.
Wait, what? You're telling me that Ben actually says he likes his food tasting like that?
That is what he's told me in the past, yes.
Oh, but that can't be right. Sometimes I just don't know what goes on in that head of his. But I know that he must be lying to you.
I really don't think that my husband was lying about how I make him his food. In fact, he's always going on about how much he loves my cooking, if you really want to know.
And you still haven't realized that he's probably just saying that as to not hurt your feelings. I know what my son likes to eat, and let me tell you that it is not the slop that you were serving us last night. He likes thick flavor and rich smells. It sounds to me like someone would be better off cooking out of a recipe book than whatever led you to make whatever you did. Anyway, speaking of Ben, he's going away on his business trip today, isn't that right?
Yes, he's already left for the airport, actually. Why do you bring that up?
Oh, perfect. That's just what I wanted to hear. In that case, I want you to come to my house tomorrow. I'm going to teach you how to cook and make it so that you can actually dish out something served for once.
Sorry, you want me to go over to your house tomorrow? I don't think that will work. I'll be working then.
Oh, there you go again, trying to use your work to get out of doing what I tell you to. So you're really telling me that you don't think you need any kind of training? Are you okay? Were you dropped on your head as a child or something? Because if you're going to be like this, I might just have to take it upon myself to make you quit your job.
Rhonda, I think that Ben already talked to you about this, didn't he? He told you that it's my choice whether or not I want to work and that you shouldn't try and interfere with the fact that I am working. Now, this is something that Ben, not me, has said to you, right? So why haven't you stopped?
Oh, so now you're telling me that I have to listen to whatever my sons tell me to do. I think you're forgetting who's really in charge here.
That isn't what I meant, but I'm just trying to tell you that I'm not going to be quitting my job just because it's something you want me to do.
How dare you say that? You're just going to ignore what your mother-in-law has to say to you?
I'm not ignoring. I am very much listening to what you have to say. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to quit my job because you want me to.
Now you listen here, young woman. I am your mother-in-law, and when I say jump, the only thing I should be hearing from you is how high. You really need to learn your place in this relationship. You're already on thin ice by not coming to live with me. How dare you take away my eldest son when he should be staying at home taking care of his mother in her advanced years?
I'm really sorry to tell you this, Rhonda, but not living with you was actually Ben's idea.
But he only reached that decision because of all the pressure that you were putting on him, weren't you? Well, you aren't going to control me like that, I can tell you that much. In fact, you should be trying to change his mind and telling him that you both should come and live with me. That's the least a daughter-in-law could do for her mother-in-law.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just don't really see that happening, Rhonda.
You really are just a terrible person, do you know that? Just the worst. I have no idea what my silly son was thinking when he decided it would be a good idea to marry you. Even his sister was smart enough to move in with her husband's family. And now she spends her days from sunup to sundown being a loyal daughter-in-law to her in-laws.
And I am sure that is her way of trying to get along with her husband's family. I would really like it if we could find a way to get along too.
Oh, please, of course you don't. If you really did, then you would just shut up and do as I tell you. But I know that your real goal is to keep turning my son against me until he wants nothing to do with me. But it's you and Ben who should end things.
And just what do you mean by that?
What do you think I mean by that? I mean that the two of you should get a divorce. After all, what's the point of being married if you're not even pregnant yet? As far as I'm concerned, that just makes you useless. And at least if the two of you did break up, then Ben might be able to find a decent wife for himself.
Rhonda, I think that you're being unreasonable right now, and I really don't like you suggesting that Ben and I should get a divorce. In fact, that thought has never ever crossed either of our minds.
Well, if you don't want my son to leave you, you better start pulling your weight around here. And you can start doing that by showing up to my house tomorrow. It's high time you learn what it means to be a good wife and daughter-in-law. And I don't want to hear any excuses about how you can't come because of your job.
Okay then, I'll go to your house tomorrow, but let's please just try to get along. Oh, hey there, Kate. Sorry I wasn't able to take your calls. There was actually something that I was wanting to talk to you about as well, so maybe we should arrange a time we can both talk.
Carla, I want to know what your deal is. How can you hurt my mom like that? My mom called me out to go and visit her at home, and she was bleeding from her head. She told me that you did that to her. What's the matter with you? I'm going to call the cops on you.
I don't think that there's any need for you to go and do that.
What are you talking about? You think I'm just going to let you get away with this?
No, I'm not trying to get away with anything, and I'm not trying to run away. It's just that the police are already on their way over there, so tell your mom to get ready for that.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Did you go to the cops or something?
I did, actually. I filed a report against your mom, if you must know.
Hold on a second. What are you even talking about right now, Carla? You hurt my mom and made her bleed, and yet you're the one trying to file a report against her? Or did you just turn yourself in? I don't get what's going on here.
That much I already know, but the fact of the matter is that your mom was the one who hurt me when she pushed me down the stairs.
Wait, what? I'm still confused. Now you're telling me that my mom fell down some stairs? But what about her bleeding head injuries?
I don't know about that, but I was the one who fell down the stairs while she just stood there and watched.
Carla, are you telling the truth about all of this?
Of course I am. I don't have any kind of video evidence if that's what you're after, but I do have an audio recording of it happening. I suppose that will have to serve as the proof that I have of what happened.
You were recording the whole thing? But why? I'm still just confused here.
I made a recording so that I would have proof of all the horrible things that your mom was saying to me. And it wasn't just this one time that she was doing this. She's been treating me horribly ever since I married your brother. I have talked about this with Ben, and it's getting to the point that we're thinking of just cutting communication off with your mom entirely.
I don't believe it. Was my mom really bullying you? I really had no idea.
Well, I'm very sorry that you had to find out like this. To be honest, it was something that I didn't want you to get dragged into.
No, you don't have to apologize to me. I'm the one who should be sorry. I mean, I had no idea that this was going on this whole time.
I appreciate you saying that, but you shouldn't feel guilty about this either, you know? I thought that if I just kept it to myself, that your mom and I would be able to work things out between ourselves, but I guess there was never even a chance of that happening, and I see that now.
You know, I also know what it's like to have your in-laws bully you.
What do you mean by that?
It's just that, well, my husband's parents have also been bullying me ever since I moved in with them.
You're kidding me, but when your mom talks about it, she makes it sound like things are going great for you. But I guess I never did ask you yourself about how things are going.
I know, but it's really okay. I understand the feeling of not wanting to bother others with what you think is something you can handle on your own. But this isn't about me. It's about you and my mom. I'll tell her what you've told me and explain to her that she's in big trouble.
I really am so sorry for sucking you into this, Kate, but thank you so much for understanding.
Of course I understand. And thank you for telling me about this. Carla, are you there? I was wondering if you and I could have a little chat. Maybe I could go over to your house and we could discuss things just the two of us.
I thought that both of your children made it very clear to you that you are not to get near me, no?
Of course. But then maybe I should just text you about what I wanted to talk about. I just really want to apologize for what happened the other day. I really didn't mean to do it on purpose, and I want you to know that.
Really? Because I've replayed it in my head over and over again, and I don't see how it could have been anything but intentional. I even recorded the things you were saying to me right before it happened, right before you shoved me down those stairs. So I really don't think that anyone is buying that what you did was accidental.
Well, okay, so I gave you a small little push, but it was just a little joke.
I don't care if you thought it was a joke. It resulted in me breaking some bones. Not only that, but then you tried to tell people that I was the one who shoved you down the stairs.
You're right, but it was just because I was so worried that people might blame me.
Well, they should. It was all your fault that I fell in the first place. What is even the point of this conversation? I'm leaving.
Wait, no, Carla, don't. Because I really am so sorry about this. Can't you go to the police and explain to them that this was all a big mistake?
But it isn't a mistake. We know exactly what happened, and you did what you did on purpose.
Please, I really didn't mean to. I swear to never do anything like that to you ever again. Besides, it's not like you didn't do anything to me. Right as you were falling, you took a swipe at me. If you had actually hit me with it, I could have been really hurt.
I see. So you really think that those two things are equivalent then? I don't know why I thought that you might actually have reflected on what you did.
No, please don't go. I really have thought about what I did. I know that it was wrong of me to do that to you. So, can you please just talk to my children and tell them to not leave me? I don't know how I'm supposed to live with myself if they leave me like this. I need you to forgive me so that they can forgive me too.
You have got to be kidding me, right? You want me to forgive you for totally selfish reasons?
But if you don't do this for me, then I'm never going to be able to see my family ever again. Don't you realize that? I just need you to go talk to my children and the cops and tell them that this was all just one big mistake.
And just why should I go and do all of this for you when you haven't even given me a real apology? You're asking for all of this just for your own benefit when you haven't shown any remorse for what you've done to me.
Look, I know that I might have pushed you down the stairs and that you hurt yourself falling down, but you have to realize that I didn't have that much family left. I mean, my kids are basically all I have left now, and if I don't have them, then who am I supposed to have to take care of me when I get older?
Incredible. I really just don't even know what to say to that. But honestly, it isn't up to me how your children decide to interact with you.
But you could change their minds if you just told them that you weren't mad at me anymore. Please, I need them to forgive me for this. I'm begging you here. You don't know what this is going to do to me. I don't have any more kids in my life.
You can beg me for this all you want, but I don't think that anything is going to change until you realize that you've done this all to yourself. I've tried explaining to you over and over again that I had my own life and career to worry about, and yet you constantly kept trying to control me. Then Ben went away for his business trip and you tried to wedge yourself into my life even more than before. And all the while you were saying all kinds of terrible things to me. Did you think that I wasn't being patient with you? That I didn't have my own limits of what I would take from you? That you could just treat people like that without any consequences?
I am so sorry, Carla. You have to believe me. I mean, you know that I never really wanted you and Ben to get divorced, right? I was just saying a bunch of stupid things. I just hoped that if I talked to you like that it might have pushed you to be a better wife.
And that's why you had to push me down the stairs? How was that supposed to make me into a better wife, huh?
I just wasn't thinking in that moment, and my arms just moved of their own, I swear. You have to forgive me. It was just an accident.
I have already told you that I am not going to forgive you for what you did to me.
But I'm your mother-in-law, your husband's mother. You can't just cut me out of your lives like that.
For the last time, I am not the one making that decision. If you don't want your children to stop talking to you, then you need to go and talk to them. But as far as I'm concerned, you and I are not family.
Please, don't say anything. I am so sorry for everything. I promise to never ever try to interfere in your life ever again. I won't even be mean to you, and I won't order you around like I did before. I'll do all of that if you just say that you'll forgive me.
I really can't believe that you think that's what's going to solve all of this. An apology has no meaning if there's no intent behind it. I have to say that you are just not the person that I thought you were when we first met. I am nothing but disappointed in you.
Carla, I'm so sorry for everything.
No, you're not. And that's the problem. But hopefully you've learned your lesson from this and can be a better mother-in-law in the future. Of course, it doesn't mean we'll ever let you back into our lives after what you've done. After that, Ben and I talked and we finally settled on dropping the charges that I was going to press against his mother. Instead, we served her with the full bill for my injuries and made her sign on to a restraining order to keep her away from me. Although it was unlikely that the court would have sent a woman of her age to jail, our settlement was a good way to ensure that she would keep away from us. After that, I blocked her on every medium imaginable. I heard from Ben, however, that rumors were spreading around Rhonda's neighborhood about what she did to me. Apparently, Rhonda was so humiliated that she doesn't even leave the house anymore. Afraid of being known as the person who harmed her daughter-in-law and lost her family, Rhonda decided that she had to move away. Now, not even her children know where she is or what she might be doing these days. A few months later, I heard that Kate and her husband talked about what she was going through and that the two of them decided to move out of his parents' house. Ever since then, Kate has seemed much less stressed than before. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey Sarah, are you there? I just wanted to talk about the lunch you packed for me today. Don't you think it's a little, well, awful?
Wait, what? You think the lunch that I packed for you was awful? How so? What didn't you like about it? Was something rotten or just really bad tasting or something?
No, not really anything like that, really. I was just thinking that you used an awful lot of frozen things, didn't you?
Oh. Did I really? I guess I wasn't aware that I was doing that. And you're telling me that you don't want me to put frozen foods in your lunch from now on?
Well, it's not that, but this whole meal is basically entirely made up of stuff from the freezer, don't you think? I just wish that you would have put a little more thought and care into what you were serving me is all.
Well, I'm really sorry you don't like your lunch, Chuck. But I just didn't really have time to make anything else. I mean, you know that I started working today, and so I just don't have time in the mornings like I used to.
I get that. But if this is what you're going to be packing me from now on, I think you had better make some time. I mean, do you really need so much time in the morning to get ready for work? Is it really that big of a deal?
Well, it was only my first day today, so I wanted to make sure that I had time to look nice and show up at the office a little early. I mean, I want my new coworkers and boss to think that I'm a good employee who is motivated about this job.
I guess, but I mean, they've already hired you, right? So it's not like they're going to be firing you anytime soon unless you make some huge mistake. Besides, you were already doing the same job part-time before they gave you a promotion to full-time. Are you sure you're not just being a bit overdramatic with all of this?
Look, I just really like my company, and I think they are really earnest about their message. I mean, the person who started the company, my current boss, used to be a working housewife as well. She wanted to start the company to help women get into the workforce and create a career path that takes into account what it means to be a woman and wife. I really respect my boss and the company. You know that.
Well, look, all I'm asking is that you don't get all caught up in this new position of yours, okay? I mean, this lunch is already giving me enough reason to worry. I don't want you slacking on anything else. And just know that if having a full-time job like me ever gets too difficult for you, you can always quit and go back to being a full-time housewife again.
Chuck, what has gotten into you? What is this conversation even about, huh? I mean, are you really so opposed to me having a job? I thought you said you wouldn't mind if we both worked.
Of course you can work. I never said that you wouldn't be allowed to work or anything like that. I'm just saying that before your job, you should be caring about your family and making sure they're taken care of first, right? Besides, you're getting old and I'm wondering how you're going to be concentrating on the family and your job. I mean, just how long are you going to make this job the center of your life?
Chuck, I can assure you now that my job is not going to take over my life. In fact, my job is very encouraging of mothers and expecting mothers, if you must know. Besides, this way we can save up more for when we retire. You care about that, don't you? What if Jake wants to go to college out of state or something? You know how expensive that's going to be.
Right. Well, I guess we do need to put aside some money for the children, but I think that you really ought to be worrying about my lunch before anything.
Chuck, I am not a personal chef or anything like that, okay? I do worry about making sure that your needs are being taken care of. But the fact of the matter is that I just have less time now. It's not a measure of how much I care, okay?
Well, either way, it doesn't change the fact that you're still trading my quality of life for your ability to work.
I'm sorry, but I think that you should be just a little more grateful about the fact that I have been making your lunch every day now. If you really don't like what you're eating for lunch now, however, then I guess I can just give you a bit of money to buy your own lunch.
So you're really just going to stop making lunches for me entirely then? Wow. I just really can't believe that that's how bad things have gotten for us.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think that you have much room to complain. I've explained to you the situation and offered an alternative. Besides, our son has no problem at all with what I pack him. He has never told me that my lunches are nasty. You're the only one who ever complains about the things that I do and how I do them.
Oh, please. You're really going to try and compare me to a child? He'd eat anything you put in front of him. How can you be serious about that?
Well, it works fine for me. I mean, if you really have something to complain about, then why don't you try cooking your own lunch?
Why are you acting like this is such a big deal? I'm not complaining. I'm just voicing my opinion, that's all. Of course I'm thankful that you make lunches for me. I was just saying that I thought there were quite a few frozen foods in here.
Oh, really? Because I don't think I've heard you say once that you're thankful for what I do. And you never ever complimented my lunches either, even before I started this job.
Right, well, what did you have in mind for us for dinner tonight?
I was going to bake some chicken and serve it with rice and some vegetables. Does that suit your need?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, it sounds like another lazy meal, really.
Are you kidding me? What about that is lazy? How is that not enough for you? It's a protein, a grain, and vegetables. That's a whole meal.
Right, but I mean, you're just going to put the rice, vegetables, and chicken next to each other on a plate and just serve it to me like that, right? Besides, you said that you were going to bake the chicken? So basically, you're not even really cooking anything. You're just making the oven do all the work.
What on earth are you talking about? How do you think cooking is done? Am I not cooking for use fire that comes from the gas stove?
I think that you're just purposely not trying to see my point. All I'm saying is that I wish you would put a little more care into the food that you make for me.
And I am telling you that we are both working now and am asking you for some patience and understanding. Did you really think that nothing was going to change at all now that we're both working? I mean, this is my first day at work and you're already complaining so much. You know that I'm going to come home tired and full of new information today, right?
Okay, geez, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have said anything if I knew you were going to make such a big deal about all of this. I guess I just thought that you could handle the responsibility without sacrificing everything that I had gotten used to before you were working.
Are you kidding me right now, Chuck? We literally talked about this before I started this job. I told you that I wouldn't be able to do all of the chores around the house like I used to. You told me that you would be there to help me out if I needed it. We agreed that we would split most of the work. I thought that you were ready for this.
I know, but I thought that I wouldn't have to do anything. That's why I agreed to it. Besides, you get home before I even do. I don't see why you can't just get things done before I get home.
I really hope that you're not serious about that, Chuck. Are you really going to try and tell me that you didn't mean any of what you said? I don't mind doing something like cooking before you come home to make sure that we all have dinner. But I'm not going to be able to clean the house and do the laundry beforehand. I need your help for that.
But that isn't fair. I don't get why I should have to do that work just because you couldn't get it done on time.
That is not what I am even talking about. It can be so infuriating even trying to discuss this with you. But anyways, my lunch break is almost over and I have some training documents that I need to look over before the break ends. I have to get back to work now. We'll talk about this later.
You can't just walk away from this conversation. We still have to figure out who's going to do the laundry. I'm telling you now that if you won't be able to handle a joke like this, just ask for part-time.
Hey Chuck, are you there? We need to talk, like, right now. I thought I asked you to hang up the laundry. So why isn't it up yet, and why have you already left the house?
Wait, what? What do you mean? Did you really tell me to do that? I'm not so sure about that.
Well, I am. I asked you to do it. I know that I did.
Are you really sure about that? I don't remember you asking me anything like that whatsoever, really. But anyways, I've already left the house, so I don't really see the point of this conversation when you could just be doing it.
You didn't do anything around the house at all that I asked you to do. What is the matter with you, Chuck?
Well, I don't know what you want me to do about it. It isn't my fault. I mean, even if you did ask me, I just forgot, okay? I mean, are you really going to blame me for that? Besides, today's our day off and you're back home already now, right? So I just don't get why you just can't do it.
Oh, I am going to do it because we need to have dry laundry to put on. But you get that this is bigger than the laundry, right? I thought I told you that I needed more help with chores around the house. You told me that you were going to do it. I was counting on you doing it.
But you're home right now. Why can't you just do it? But come on. You know you're better at that stuff than me.
How can you say that when Jake is a literal child and he still does a much better job helping me than you do? I mean, he even went out to do some of the grocery shopping for me and even helped me cook dinner too.
Well, he's just a student. He's got nothing but time on his hands anyways. In fact, you know what? If Jake is so much better than me, you can just count on him for everything. After all, when he's in college, he'll be living on his own. So it'd be good for him to learn these things.
That's honestly not a bad idea given how much more useful Jack is around the house than you are. Did you know that I don't even have to pack lunches for him anymore?
And just what are you trying to get at with that little comment, huh?
Well, do you remember the day that you went out golfing? Jack stayed home all day and helped me clean the house then. And just what do you think we're going to do when I'm too old to take care of the house by myself, huh?
Well, we'll just get Jack's wife to do all the cooking and cleaning for us then, of course.
Do you even think before you send these messages, Chuck? Why are you always trying to get someone else to do your work for you? I mean, I work and do my best to take care of the house, and you still won't try to help out at all.
Here we go again. I knew that you should have just stuck with that part-time job in the first place.
Well, I'm happy that I'm working full-time, thank you very much. And just why don't you want me working anyways?
Already told you. Now you're concentrating way too much on your job and letting this house fall apart.
Do you really think that our house is anywhere near falling apart, Chuck? Because if you do, then the only person you can blame is the one not hauling their own weight around here. You!
But, I mean, you two are so much better than me.
And And be that as it may, I have explained to you now that I'm working. I just don't have time to do all that work now. So, if you want something done around the house, then you can do it.
No, I won't do them. You were going to do them for me. Now you have some free time, so you can do all the chores. Besides, if I do them, you're just going to have to do them again anyways.
Are you really so against just doing a little bit of work around the house to help out your wife and son?
I don't even know how to use the vacuum cleaner. You expect me to be doing things like the laundry?
Are you kidding me with that? I really don't believe that you don't even know how to use the vacuum. But I've offered to show you how to do everything that you'll need to know.
Even if you have time to teach me all of that, then you might as well just do all of the work yourself. It would just be faster that way, don't you think?
I really don't even know what to say to you anymore. But I've just about had enough out of you, and I'm going to get back to cleaning the house.
Well, that's what you should have been doing this whole time anyways. And since you have so much time on your hands anyway, why don't you make something good for dinner too? And by that I mean, put some actual effort into it, okay? If you don't, I'll make you cook it all over again. If you want to keep your full-time job, you'll do as I say and keep the house clean, got it? And if you can't do that, then I will force you to go back to working part-time. Hey, Sarah, where are you? Have you still not gotten home from work yet? I can't find Jack anywhere either. Where are the two of you? What's going on here?
Jack is at the library studying right now, Chuck. And I told you this morning that I was going to have an appointment at the beauty salon, so that's where I am now. I shouldn't be much longer before I'm on my way home.
Wait, what? Why are you wasting money going to some beauty salon? What is the matter with you?
What is the matter with me? What are you talking about? Why are you reacting like this? What's wrong with me going there? I'm getting my roots touched up and getting a little haircut. Is that really so bad?
But why can't you do all of that at home? Why do you have to waste our money paying someone else to do that for you?
Because I work full-time and meet with clients for a living. I want to make sure that I look presentable for all of that. If you really are trying to tell me that I'm not even allowed to maintain my own appearance, then I don't even know what to say.
I just would like to know why you think that you have to look good for anyone who isn't your husband. I mean, just where are you going around with that new haircut, huh? Also, the house is looking horrible. Did you two do any cleaning at all today? I'm going to be going out drinking, and the house better be clean by the time I get back tonight. Do I make myself clear?
Did you really just send that message? Just who in the world do you think you are, huh?
What do you mean, who do you think I am? I think that I'm your husband, and what I say goes, got it? Now you're going to get back here and clean up the house like I'm ordering you to. And after that, you and I are going to talk about having you quit your job and getting my mom involved and training you how to be a good wife. I know that if my mom could see the way that you take care of our house, that she would be appalled at you.
Are you sure about that? Because the one who helped clean the house today was your mom, actually. And here I thought that she did a really good job, actually. I guess I should call her and let her know that you weren't happy at all with how she did it, though. I'll tell her you want her to come back and do it all again.
Wait. What do you mean it was my mom who was doing all the cleaning? You mean she came over and helped sort the house out?
That's right. I talked to her and told her about how you were never happy with the way that I cleaned the house. So she offered to come over and clean. She came around the afternoon, but surely you're not telling me that you're not happy with the job your mom did, right?
Well, Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, things do look pretty clean. I guess maybe it was just bad lighting. It is late and all. Maybe my eyes were tired or something. I don't know.
No, you clearly hate the job she did. So I'll tell her to come back and do it all over again.
Please don't do that. I'm sorry, okay? I shouldn't have said that.
No, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have treated me all the way that you have been the last few weeks because I am sick of it. You said that you would have no problem with me working, and now all you do is try and control my life, and I am sick of it. I'm going to come home after my hair is done, pack up my bags, and leave you.
Sarah, please. It's been a whole week. When are you going to come back?
Why would I ever do that, huh?
Oh, my mom told me all about what I was doing wrong. My mom told me all about how hard it is to keep a house clean, especially when you have to worry about working.
So you're telling me that she told you what I had been going through?
That's right, I had no idea about just how difficult all of it was, I swear. Had I known, I never would have acted that way.
Well, you certainly weren't making it any easier with how insulting you were being towards me, you know?
I know, but you aren't really going to divorce me, are you? I mean, we're both way too old for that. And we still have our son to worry about.
Oh, please. You would have it so that I was never working and always having to be reliant on you for money. Except for the fact that you and I both know that you don't even make enough money to take care of all of us.
But I'll do something about the money, okay? I can find a second job.
Are you kidding me? Are you telling me that your mom talked about how difficult it is to keep a house running? And all you can think of is that you'll earn more money so that you can force me back into the home? Why can't you just help me clean the house?
Because I hate doing chores. I hate doing them so much. So please, won't you quit your job, move back in, and just clean the house like you always used to do?
I can't believe that you're really asking me to do this. This is honestly just pathetic, Chuck. Are you really so scared of cooking for yourself?
But I hate cooking most of all. I really have no idea how to do it, and everything I make tastes awful. Please, Sarah, I need you. Can't you see that?
Oh, I know very well that you need me. But the fact is that I also know that I don't need you. Goodbye, Chuck. I hope that at the very least this teaches you to take care of yourself. After that, I sent movers to collect the rest of my things from the house, and I served Chuck with divorce papers. He was forced to move into a much smaller apartment that he could afford, and quickly had to learn how to fend for himself. The last time I heard any news about him, it was because he had set his apartment on fire trying to cook something. He had forgotten to put the water in his instant noodles, and they caught fire in the microwave. As for Jack and I am still working full-time and providing for both of us. Jack understands that without his dad around and me working more, that he needs to do more around the house for the both of us. Jack still keeps in touch with his father, however, and has even been spending some of his free time going over to his house and trying to teach him to cook and clean. I don't know where that boy got his patience from, but his father is all the luckier for it. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey, Aunt Tessa, just wanted to check in on you and see how you're doing.
Oh, Davis, what a lovely surprise hearing from you. To what do I owe the pleasure? And yes, I'm still getting my butt to work, so I think I'm just fine.
And you haven't been smoking at all lately either?
You know that I quit that a long time ago, don't you? Although I must say that I do get very tempted when the customers are smoking in the bar. But I still stay strong.
Well, that's good at least. You know that I worry about you at your age, right? You need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I mean, you do still drink quite a bit, and you're basically nocturnal with the way you work, too.
What on earth are you talking about? I get up every single day at around 10 in the morning. Not only that, but with the 2 new stores that I've opened up, I'm busy a lot more in the day than I am at night.
Well, that's another reason why I sometimes worry about you. Are you getting enough sleep most days, then?
These days, I am hardly ever staying at the store until closing time. So I don't think you need to worry about me being up too late.
But you have other things going on than what happens at your store, right? I mean, on top of managing them, you also have to go and meet with vendors and people like that too, right?
Yes, that is true. But don't worry, I'm definitely not partying like I used to when I was younger, and I've cut back on my drinking a lot.
I'm sorry, but I just remembered being in middle school and going into the living room in the morning to see you passed out with a bottle of wine on the couch.
Well, that's because I was still young and full of life back in those days. Now, there is just no way that I could keep up that lifestyle anymore. I think if I even had one day where I drank as much as I did back then, that I wouldn't even be able to function for about a week afterwards. So don't you worry about me. That's all behind me now.
You keep talking about how young you were back then, but I think you were still pretty old by the time I was living with you.
Davis, how rude! Don't you know you shouldn't be talking to a lady about her age? Honestly, I thought I raised you better than that.
I'm sorry, you know that I didn't mean it like that, but I was just wondering if you even have to keep on working. I mean, surely you have enough money saved up to retire by this point, right? You're always so busy running your stores, and I just wonder if you ever have time to do anything else you want to be doing. Even if you don't retire all the way, maybe you could just be like kind of semi-retired for a while?
I won't lie to you. More and more I have days where I think that sounds quite nice. But I just know that I still have the fight in me to keep going a little while more. Anyways, sorry, Davis. Was there something you wanted to talk to me about? I feel like we got a bit distracted with this chit-chat and catching up.
Well, actually, I did have something I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, what is it? You shouldn't be having a lady in suspense. What do you want to talk to me about?
I have someone who I'd like you to meet.
You mean a girl? A girlfriend? You're bringing home a girlfriend?
Well, maybe a bit more than that. I've actually been seeing this girl for a while, and, well, I proposed to her not that long ago. So I wanted you to meet her and give your blessing. I know I jumped the gun at proposing, but it would still mean a lot.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I don't know what to say! This is also exciting. My little Davis is finally going to be getting married. Oh, I'm crying right now. I knew this day would come, but I didn't know it would hit me like this. Oh my. Oh, my makeup is going to start running.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Aunt Tessa. I didn't mean to make you cry, especially right before you were going into the bar. Maybe I should have just waited until after you were off to tell you about this.
Oh, don't be silly. These are tears of joy. I'm so happy for you, Davis. This is just the most wonderful news. Oh my, this is just amazing. But I still have to go and do my hair for the night. And I have to make sure to tell all the girls at the bar about this great news.
Oh, come on, it's not that big of a deal. You don't gotta go and tell the girls.
What are you talking about? This is amazing news. Don't you dare try and downplay the fact that you're getting married. I'm so excited for you, Davis. Thank you so much for telling me this. This is going to make the rest of my night so much easier to deal with.
Aunt Tessa, thank you so much. You know that I have to thank you for everything that I've been able to do up until now.
What do you mean, sweetie? You've done so well for yourself, and you really ought to be proud.
But when I was just a kid, both my parents died. You were the one that took me in, and I didn't have anyone else. Even though you were still working nights and busy with your store, you still always made sure to have time for me when I needed it. And no matter how tired you were, you would make sure to cook for me. You raised me, and I just feel like I owe you everything. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, Aunt Tessa.
Are you really trying to get me to cry even before my shift? You should have saved that little speech for when I was laying on my deathbed. Oh, now I'll have to go and fix my makeup all over again.
Please don't say that, Aunt Tessa. I just, I want you to know how happy I am that I get to share this moment with you. And you better not be lying in that bed anytime soon. I still want you to be in my life for a long time. I still have so much I need to do to pay you back.
David, what on earth are you talking about? I was the one who took you in. I knew it would be my duty to see to it that you were raised right. I'm so grateful to have you in my life, too. I don't know where I'd be without you always looking out for me. I know this is awful to say, but there are times when grateful is the wrong word. But I wonder if fate didn't push us into each other's lives like this after your parents passed.
Well, I barely have any memory of my parents at this point. But for basically all my life, you've been the only parent that I did have, and I couldn't ask for a better person to raise me.
Oh, Davis, don't you go starting with me again. My eyes are going to be red and puffy all night at this rate.
You're right, we could just save this talk for another time. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. Anyway, if possible, I'd like for you to meet my fiancé sometime next month. When you have a chance to look at your schedule, please let me know a day that would work for you.
I think there are going to be a few days when the clubs will be closed. But I'll give you an exact date and times that would work for me soon.
Got it, then I'll just wait for that message. Good luck with work tonight, Aunt Tessa.
Thank you again, Davis, for everything. We'll talk soon.
Oh, Davis! I just wanted to let you know that I got home safe and sound.
Hey, Michaela, I'm really sorry I wasn't able to take you home tonight.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that at all. I actually had some quick errands to run on the way back home, so it was better this way for me anyways. And besides, it had been a while since you went over to visit with your aunt, right? You two should enjoy each other's company.
Thanks for being so understanding. Aunt Tessa just has some things around the house that she needed help with since she's getting a bit too old to do them by herself.
It must be hard for her to live in a place like that all by herself, though. But I'm glad that we both could help her out around the house while I was over there. It felt nice to do something for the woman that raised you.
I'm glad you both seem to get along so well. If I'm being honest, I was pretty nervous the whole time.
And now this means that we've both formally announced our engagement to both our families!
I suppose all that's left is planning the wedding and arranging a date to go to the city hall and make this thing official.
I guess so. But you're sure that I didn't do anything rude or weird while we were at your aunt's? I mean, I was also pretty nervous to be meeting her for the first time. It was all such a blur. I feel like I barely remember what happened.
I think that you were just perfect, Michaela. And I think that my aunt really did take a liking to you, so you don't gotta worry about that.
Well, I really enjoyed meeting her too. She was just so lovely, and I had a great time.
She really is a friendly person, isn't she? I feel like she always just knows how to be herself. But I'm glad that nothing out of the ordinary happened.
I know. I was so shocked when she asked for my phone number too. Who would have guessed that we would get along so quickly? And again, maybe she was just using the charm she pulls on the customers at her clubs, right? I never would have guessed that I ended up in a connection in that kind of business. It honestly does seem like a whole nother world the more that I think about it. And I hope this isn't rude to say, but I was surprised by how well kept a woman of her age was. She looked great.
You should tell her that the next time you see her. Maybe not the age bit, but I'm sure she'd love to know that you liked her look.
If you think she'll like hearing it, then I'll be sure to say it. And the way she made it sound, she was going to be more and more free on the weekends, so I think we'll have more time to see each other. I guess she's just really busy during the week then, right?
Well, I think a lot of her regulars are people coming home from work who stop in, so she's usually pretty busy on the weekdays.
That does make sense, I suppose.
But it sure is a strange business for sure. The more you learn about it, the more you realize there's a whole nother world in this city that comes alive at night.
And on top of managing work like that, she still took you in when you were little? That must have been pretty tough on the both of you at times, right? I mean, she was probably hardly ever home at night, right? And I don't suppose it was as easy to just hire a sitter back then either, right?
Yeah, she was gone most nights, but there were times when she could ask some of her staff to look over me. She made sure to pay them to do so, but I guess it helps when you have trustworthy staff like that.
So there were always different people coming in and out of the house then? Did that ever bother you when you were little?
No, not really. If anything, I just got to know a lot of the ladies she hired, and they were all lovely. Some of them used to be teachers or nurses, so they were familiar with how to take care of kids. Some of them even helped me with my homework when I had questions. It was almost like having a whole private staff of different people with different strengths.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess that does make sense, though. Except I think that if news of something like that got out today, people would accuse your aunt of neglect or something like that.
I think the times have changed for sure, but as far as I'm concerned, she was the only one who raised me, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Well, I really am glad that you sound like you did enjoy growing up the way you did. Because being from the outside looking in, it can be a little hard to wrap my head around.
I know it seems strange, but I really did have a fun childhood. Even when Aunt Tessa would be so hungover after a night of partying, I just remember being a kid and thinking that she was turning into a zombie. I guess maybe I took a lot from her since she raised me since I was so young. I get that it's a bit weird.
It is weird, but the way you explain it all, I can't help but respect the woman. She owned her own business, was single, took in a child, and raised him into the man that I'm going to marry.
I really do feel like I owe her so much for what she did for me. She's been the only family I've had ever since my parents passed away. When they did die, the other relatives all preferred to send me to an orphanage. None of them wanted to take me in. Which is understandable, I guess, but Aunt Tessa was the exception.
Well, now your family is going to grow even bigger with me, Davis. And together we'll make our own family too, and we can all live happily as one big family.
I really can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to our future together, Michaela. I'm really so happy to have you in my life, you know. Hey, Aunt Tessa, are you working today? Because if you're not, I was just wondering if you wanted to come over and hang out.
Oh, Davis, I'm really sorry, but I have a ton of errands to run today.
Oh, really? I see.
Is everything okay? What's with that response?
Well, it's just I was in town and I ended up running into Mandy, who manages your second club.
Oh, okay. What did you guys talk about? Is everything okay?
Well, I heard from Mandy that you're not doing so well. So anyway, I guess I just was worried about you and wanted to see if you wanted to spend some time together.
Oh, no, it's nothing bad at all. I think it's just this summer heat making me feel a bit ill is all. You know how Mandy always blows things out of proportion.
I know she can be like that, but you and Mandy have been working together for almost 10 years now, and she sounded pretty worried for you.
I promise you that I really am okay. I just needed to rest a little the last time that we talked is all.
Oh, really? But when we talked just a few months ago, you said that you were wanting to keep working, right?
Well, when you get to be my age, things can change rather quickly, you know?
Your age? Aunt Tessa, are you okay? You never mention your own age. Something is up, isn't it? You know that you can talk to me about anything, right?
I know that, but I just don't want you to worry about me all your life, Davis. You have your own life and even your own wedding to plan to now. Please, just focus on those things and don't worry about me.
Right, I have something that I'd like to talk to you about in that regards. Michaela and I sent out our wedding invitations, but we never got your RSVP. We figured that it was because it was a given that you would be there, but you are going to be at the wedding, right?
I'm sorry, but I just don't think that I'll be able to go.
Wait, what? You're kidding me, right? That's gotta be some kind of joke.
I'm afraid it's true. The fact of the matter is that on the day of your wedding, I'll be meeting with someone I owe a lot to, and I simply can't miss meeting them.
But it's my wedding. You're really not gonna be there for me?
I really am sorry about this, Davis. I do wish that I could, but I just can't.
But you're the only family I have, Aunt Tessa. I need you there with me.
Come now, Davis, you're all grown up. You don't need me by your side for every little thing anymore. And this thing I have to do is really important to me as well, so I'm afraid there's nothing to be done about it.
Okay then, but what time are you gonna be home from your errands?
I don't know. It's going to be a very long day, I think.
Well, just let me know when you're done, okay? I'll wait for you. This is really serious, and I'd like to talk to you about this in person with you.
No, you shouldn't do that, Davis. I might not be home until very late. There would be no point in troubling yourself like that.
I don't care how late it is. I want to talk about this with you, Aunt Tessa.
Good morning, you old hag. I just wanted to say thanks again so much for agreeing not to come to Davis and I's wedding. I heard that you were pretty depressed the other day, though.
What are you talking about? You were the one who told me to tell Davis that I wouldn't be able to go.
And just who do you think you are talking to me like that, huh? You really are just a sad old woman, aren't you? Did you really think we were going to let some woman who runs sleazy clubs like you into our wedding?
Oh, the joke is on you because the wedding is off.
What did you just say to me? What in the world makes you think that, huh?
It's not Tessa, it's me, Davis.
You really think that I'm going to believe that? You must think I'm a moron if you're trying to tell me that you're Davis. But from now on, I want you to stay away from him. You're clearly nothing but a bad influence. I thought I made that clear to you the last time we spoke. You said you would gradually pull out of being part of his life. You and Davis are parts of different worlds, and you don't deserve to have him.
Michaela, what in the world are you talking about right now?
I mean that Davis went to college and works for a huge firm. You're just a pervy old lady who runs some shabby old clubs. You're an embarrassment to Davis, don't you get that?
You really need to stop this right now, Michaela, because you and I are not going to the city hall tomorrow.
Wait a second. How did you know that Davis and I were doing our civil ceremony tomorrow? Did you ask him about our wedding plans?
For the last time, I am Davis. I'm here at Aunt Tessa's house texting you on her phone. I spent the night here last night.
But you told me that you were at your own house yesterday. You said that you were really tired from work.
Well, I lied to you. Not only that, but I saw the message that you were sending to my aunt, and I had to do a lot of hard thinking last night.
So then, this really is Davis right now.
That's what I've been telling you this whole time.
Then what is all this talk about us not getting married? I don't understand.
I refuse to get married without the woman who raised me standing by my side. Do you understand?
But this isn't fair. I told your aunt not to mention any of this to you. How could she do this to me?
Is that even a serious question? You were insulting the woman who raised me and tried to keep her from being at our wedding. How could you do that to her?
But I was only doing it for your sake. Think of how awful it would look to have a woman like her standing around with the rest of my normal family. You really want Aunt Tessa to be what people think of when they think of your family? That's just absurd.
If you really think that, then I know for a fact now that we could never get married.
But why? This doesn't have anything to do with you. It's about her.
No, it does have to do with you. Aunt Tessa raised me for 20 years. She dedicated her life to her clubs and me, and she is the most important person in my life. I thought that you might take her place one day, but now I know that you're nothing but a horrible, condescending elitist.
So you're really going to choose your own aunt over me?
It's not even a choice, really. The answer is clear as day to me. If you're going to insult my family, then I don't want you in my life.
Davis, you're being ridiculous. You're really going to throw away marrying me to defend this harlot? It's time for you to join regular society. Nobody is going to want to be with you if you have connections to the kinds of circles your aunt runs in.
And just what's wrong with those circles? It was Aunt Tessa and her girls who raised me into the person I am today. The person that you want to marry.
You can't be serious about this, right? Please tell me that this is some kind of prank I'm just not understanding. I mean, if you and I don't get married, then who's going to pay the cancellation fees for all the reservations we made?
Don't you worry about that. I'll pay for it all, and then I never want to see you again. Do you understand me?
You're really going to throw away a normal life for her? You can't do this to me, Davis. I love you.
Well, I can't love someone who wants to tear my family apart. I really did love you, but I just don't have those feelings anymore. I know who you really are now, and it's not a person I love.
You're making a big mistake.
I think the only person here making a mistake is you, Michaela.
You can't do this to me. Please, I'll apologize to your aunt. We'll be friends. We can fix this.
There's nothing to fix. I don't want to be with you anymore, and that's that. I just hope that one day you learn the true meaning of family. After that, I reached out to Michaela's parents and explained to them that I broke off our engagement. They asked me why, and I did my best to explain what had happened. I told them that I would be paying for the cancellation fees as well. I expected them to be furious at me, but instead they apologized for their daughter's actions. After I canceled our wedding plans, I heard that Michaela quit her job, since she couldn't stand the rumors flying around at work about her engagement falling apart. I hear that now she just lives at home with her parents and hardly ever leaves.